Semangat pagi. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya. Salam sehat yang terhormat Profesor Baran Saragi. I have seen your presentation, very inspiring, Pak. So hopefully young generation like us can deliver what is your vision. And first of all, thank you for inviting me. After you hearing Professor speaking, I'm really under pressure to step up my presentation, and thank again for inviting a farmer like me who farming about pineapple and banana. And I know Andy saying long way back during my tech time, it was 12 years ago, Andy went all the way to the cloud when my career going to the down to earth. Until he just realized that nothing's on the cloud and he go back on the earth, to the earth again. Okay, there's a lot of talks and expectation on this food resilience. I think I just mentioned Indonesia is actually have a lot of potential. We are actually the Brazilian of Asia, isn't it? Given our archipelago settings, our tropical setting, a lot of rich and diversity of what we have in the country. And so there is no doubt that the opportunity is a massive as the health trend industry swept all over the world. People discover that the potential of the fresh fruit in all direction, in all forms of the business, right? So the demand is never been a challenge. It's the supply that has been a challenge, right? So the opportunity is always there. Whoever can crack it. In fact, there is a couple of this year and last year probably the price of the commodity of a fresh is probably one of the highest ever in the world. But that's a big picture, right? So what happened with Indonesia? Well, in this beautiful country, tropical country, we are deficit. We are import more fresh fruit rather than we export. It's a $1 billion deficit. Most of our children never actually consume our tropical fruits anymore. When the last time you ate kedondong? You probably don't realize we have jewet. Probably some of you probably doesn't know what the jewet is, right? Lobi, what is it? Where is it? It's all gone. It's being replaced by grapes, oranges, pear. Those are foreign foods for our children, right? This is the challenge of our country, right? Given the massive opportunity globally, but when you will look at our internal country itself, there is massive opportunity, right? You dig a little bit deeper. So this is even more challenge of our country. In terms of the hunger index in Southeast Asia, we are number 3. Yeah, Timor-Leste, Laos, and Indonesia. So there is a saying in Indonesia proverb, tikus mati di lumbung, right? It's like a mouse dying in the really fertile, soil in that sense, right? And even probably the challenging data, we are the second food waster in the world. Not because the consumer wasting it, but it lost in the supply chain. 40% in the agriculture, 30% on the supply chain. Therefore, if you eat in Jakarta, you feel it expensive, isn't it? Right? The moment you get out to Jakarta, to Yogyakarta, to Malang, Surabaya, suddenly the food is becoming cheaper. There is a lot of issue that we need to solve, not just putting effort one by one. So in the agriculture, we do believe collaboration, as a Professor Saragi mentioned. Competition is not really a big thing in the agriculture. We need to collaborate together. And let me try to share what we are doing in the Great Giant Food. And probably we can help as you venturing into this agriculture business going forward. Because there is a heaven at the end of the earth. And probably, rather than I speak about the company, I can probably show you the video what we are doing. And before the word sustainability was coming, we don't even know what the sustainability is. It's about survivability. Because if you put the sustainability in the core of your business model, actually two things will happen. You control the cost very effectively. In fact, we're not only the biggest, we are the lowest cost pineapple producer in the world, even compared with our neighbor Thailand. The second one is the quality, right? The quality of your product is actually getting better. Now, as you are into this sustainability, then it comes the circular model. At that time, we don't even know what is a circular model. In the agriculture, it's easy to sell a product that have a good quality. The question is what you're going to do with the rest. It's only 20 to 30% can be consumed by the human being. What about the 70%? Right? Therefore, we are into this cattle business because we just find out that we have a lot of excess of pineapple skin. Right? After that, what are you going to do with the manure of the cattle? We put it back on the soil again. So it becomes really vicious cycle. It delivers product differentiation, cost effectiveness, and the quality control. And more importantly, is it sustainable for the longer term? And nature, as you becoming better of managing nature, it gives you back of a better quality and yield and so on and so forth. That's why we are number one, right? I think we are number one too in the tropical fruit company in Indonesia. Cattle number two. People probably doesn't know the bromelain. Bromelain is enzyme made from the stem of a pineapple, which is very potent for the anti-inflammatory. We sell it all over the world. We are the biggest bromelain enzyme in the world. The demand is definitely exceeding supply as people now find out that the anti-inflammatory is actually the one that trigger cancer. Then we have a cattle, I just mentioned, and then the outcome of it, we do have a lot of product, which is, I'm sure that you are probably one of you, our Rejuve consumer, isn't it, right? Really good product uses. Not only the technology is coming from the cold press, but I think it's very difficult to replicate this product because the base of this product is a pineapple juice. If you want to make 100 juices in this country, either you have to buy from coconut water, apple, or a pear, which is prohibitively expensive. Or if you want to use it by pineapple juice, then you have to talk to me. It's as simple as that. All right, so that's a part of the business sense. So, but that's not the part of it, because I mentioned when we are doing the business, we have to be sustainably responsible for the environments. Not only the core of the business model, but we need to make sure that we are taking from the nature, we are giving back, and when we hand it over to generation and generation, it becoming better. So we have a 4 pillar of the sustainability. The first one is a climate resilient. Make sure that whatever we do, we don't add carbon positive to the entire climate. We measure it to this, S1, S2, S3, all the way. Right? Regenerative agriculture. This is a fancy word, but this actually is the old practice of the agriculture. You make sure that you don't only using monocroppings, right? Not using chemical fertilizer, not using the water coming from the ground source, right? So the regenerative agriculture, 2 things that we are really focused on. The soil that we are getting has to be getting healthier and healthy, right? That's why people are asking why we are in the banana business. Because if you keep planting pineapple, the disease will come up. And guess what? The one that can eradicate the disease is a banana. If you kept planting banana, the fusarium will come up. And guess what? What is can eradicate the banana is another plant, which is pineapple, one of it. So nature demand diversity. So there is a soil and the water that we have to watch out to make sure that we're not taking water from the ground and the soil that we are using is getting better and better. The third one is a circularity. That's a fancy word, but the simple word is whatever the outcomes of the waste that coming from your business, you're not putting back and becoming pollution. You use it for your next business idea and so on and so forth. For example, there is a lot of discussion of a green fashion industry in Europe. The fiber of a pineapple has been used to produce fabrics, shoes, and so on and so forth, rather than polyester. So there's a lot of a business that you can venture out. The business doesn't have to be linear. It can be circular, and including the non-food waste as well. Now, community empowerment. For us, in order to grow, it's not enough that 32,000 hectares. We need to grow all over Indonesia, and the land today is limited. And it doesn't make sense to sell everything, to transform everything from Lampung. We need to work together with the farmer all over Indonesia, right? We do have now 1,200 farmer of banana. It's around 500 who doing working together with us on the cattle fattening and breeding, but it's not enough. We need around 10,000 farmer. How we going to do it together? Because farmer is a small stakeholder. They have a different mind, very short term. How to educate them properly to make sure they follow the regulation, system and standardization and so on and so forth. So we need to be able to grow the business not only by us, but we need to together and cooperate with the farmer. The second one is the community. The people that works around our community, because the worker is mainly coming from the villages around our plantation. So we need to make sure that when we prosper, their children is also well nourished. Indonesia, we do have a stunting problem. So we make sure that as a food company, right, the children that within our community and villages has to be well nourished. The last one, again, if you are thinking to become a CEO of agriculture, there's a lot of things that you have to manage, including animals. One of the plantation is the adjacent with the Waikambas elephants reservation. And before that, there is a lot of a conflict between us and the elephant. It's very simple because elephants see, wow, there's a lot of a pineapple. Let's having a buffet. And what happens when they're having fun? You tell them to get out from the plantation. They went angry, and there's a lot of conflict. And this conflict has casualty in the past, in the both sides, actually. So we work together with the reservation. Now we know that there are spot animals. There's two groups that actually roaming around and is being, being handed over and over from various generation. So we know only these two groups, and they put a GPS on the leaders of the elephant. So before they came, so our employee, don't go there, go the other direction, and they smart already. So from 196 conflicts in the past 2 years becoming 0. Right. So there's a commitment that we make sure that when we are growing the business, it's not only just a financial number. And we also doing good for the planet, for the people, for the country and farmer. Now, my last probably sharing, which is if you think finding a good talents, in your startup and everything is easy, try to ask good people to become a farmer, right? But nowadays, the story is changing. It is cool to be a farmer. It is cool to be a green economy. It is cool to be an architect. When I was taking over this company 4 years ago, the average application for our company is about 3,000. This year, I checked 75,000. Right. So when your company have a really good vision, good business model, good financial number, right? So you're doing good to all of the multiple stakeholders, including animal. So my last wish, my company name is a Great Giant Food. Hopefully it becomes Great Giants Indonesia Agriculture. Thank you.
What an eye-opening and inspiring. Thank you, Bapak Tommy Wattimena.